Alaska, the state that stands alone. There's a dog race run from Anchorage in the Nome. And it's a grueling race with a lightning pace, with the chilly winds do wail beneath the northern lights, cross snow and the ice, and it's called
January
the Iditarod
5th, 2012. Iditarod is well underway. Day 2, it's Monday. And you're with the Iditarod Airforce in McGrath. And we are grounded. Got about 3/4 of a mile in snow. Oh, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. Snow started about an hour ago as we were starting to uncover the airplanes and get ready to launch and get people out to checkpoints and be in a position for the teams. And we're here enjoying a beautiful winter day in a heavy snow in McGrath. Well, let's see, we got 50 Zulu behind me. R185 is all bundled up for the day. All plugged in and heated up with the reef system plugged in like this. I end up climbing in and hitting the master with 125 degrees of oil temperature, so it's pretty nice. There's Bob Elliott and his 180. Bob's got a P-Ponk engine in his. You can see McGrath has had its share of snow this season, and it's down to, it looks like a half a mile now. There's our 182. Brought it up last week, and it's had a foot of snow since it's been here. We were getting ready to uncover it and launch it and start doing some flying, but well, of course the snow got us. There's Jimmy Kentz's 180. And coming around, we got Marty's 180, and then Scott Ivany's 180. So, Iditarod Airforce, second day of Iditarod, and we're grounded. We got work to do and can't do it. So we'll get an update later on things. We'll go down the checkpoint and check out and see how the checkpoint looks, and all our logistics folks that make things happen. But Iditarod 2012, we're on a hold. All right, Scott.
Hey everybody. We're all snowed in here in McGrath.
Yep.
Hurry up and wait.
That's what they pay us the big bucks for. Of course, we fly.
Your pay on weather days.
Yep. We fly for food anyway.
You need twice as much today.
That's right. It's coming down.
Yeah, it is. I think
it is. We're well less than a mile now, down to a half a mile.
I think we're gonna get far more than 3 or 4 inches.
Yep. But the teams are on the trail. The teams are moving. Last check, Lance Mackey and a couple of the teams were out of Finger Lake, headed up towards Puntilla. They'll be in Roan tonight. Diane and I like to spend the first night in Roan when they come in on Monday night, but I don't think we're going to make it. Well, we're all dressed up, no place to go. This is Susie's Cafe in McGrath. It's still Monday. Snowing outside with about 3/4 of a mile visibility, and nobody's going nowhere. Getting ready to eat lunch. We got all the Iditarod volunteers, mostly veterinarians and pilots, sitting around drinking coffee. Hello, Jimmy. These are our digs. And this is Iditarod Logistics McGrath. This is where all the major planning goes on. There's Bert, our chief pilot. He looks lost. And there's Joy. And Andy, the race judge. Hey, Andy. All Iditarod volunteers getting ready to head out on the trail, but can't go nowhere. We got a weather day. Sitting around Susie's Cafe and Iditarod. Oh, there's one of our cooks. Lunch is served, so I'm going to go eat lunch. We got an Iditarod field trip. We're stuck in McGrath, so we're going to be constructive. We're going to go to the museum, and Nan's our tour guide. Nan's the tour guide.
Hi.
So are we on the north end of town? I mean, like, yeah.
Now, well, where else but Alaska could you have a fence of moose horns? Or moose antler fence.
I could get it like all in a row. Yeah.
Well, McGrath Museum and Library.
Lots of woolly mammoth things around here. Yeah.
Yep. He's well fed.
Stuffed him that fat.
Yeah. Beautiful wolf. Yeah. Of course, tribute to aviation, that was a huge factor in the development of McGrath. Was originally one of the Lend-Lease runways that they refueled the P-40s in going over to Russia. That's how the well, there was some mining out here then, but that's why they built the runway here.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yep.
Huh.
So a lot of aviation history here. Well, there's a replica of a early miner and trapper's cabin.
I could get them to run from my house to
A lot of old artifacts.
Didn't necessarily have brakes or anything.
Over a century of mining history of McGrath.
And
KSKO, the voice of the Kuskokwim River in McGrath. We're storming the offices. We're storming the radio station. Does this take over McGrath or occupy McGrath?
Well, welcome to KSKO. Let me give you a brief history of KSKO. We went on the air in 1980, and I'm happy to say that I have been here almost since then, not here. So we have a transmission tower that's 4 miles from here that is beyond the power lines of the city of McGrath. So we run our own generators, our own power plant out there too, which is part of my job. We have 2 30 kW generators, and we generate our own power. Well, you know, as you watch the news the last 2 weeks, everybody's talking about the rising gas prices. That's what's going to put us out of business out here.
Here we go.
Iditarod 40.
That's right.
This is a real glass of wine.
This is a real glass of wine, yeah.
Yeah, a water glass.
This is Monday, day 2. We haven't turned a prop all day. We've been kind of waiting out the snow, so we're finishing off the day in McGuire's. Iditarod 2012. Having fun. Living the dream on Iditarod. Got the Iditarod pilots and our logistics folks. And a vet or two at McGuire's. Say hi, Jim. Jim's with Betty. He's kind of quiet. Hi, Jim. Got a couple airplanes out first thing in the morning, but it's been a blinding snowstorm ever since. We got about 6-7 inches of snow. Chilling out at McGuire's, and hopefully we'll get some teams out. Hopefully we'll get some flying done tomorrow. Last I checked, Ali Zirkle was in and out of Rome. There's 40 teams headed to Rome, so Iditarod's headed to Nome, and we're chilling out at McGuire's in McGrath. Well, that's a crunch of snow at about 0 degrees in McGrath, and it's the end of the second day of Iditarod. Good night to all.
Well, give me a team and a good lead dog and a sled that's built so fine, and let me race those miles to Nome 1049. Then when I get back to my home, hey, I can tell my tale. I did the Iditarod Trail. Well, the race, it won't be easy for the masters of the trail, and some of them will make it and some of them will fail. But just to run that race takes a tough and a hardy breed, and a lot of work done by the dogs that run across snow with a whistle and speed. Well, give me a team and a good lead dog and a sled that's built so fine,